Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nin, and welcome back. Yes, welcome back to another podcast. Yes, another podcast episode. Me and
It's been such a long time.
it has been a very long time. Goodness gracious, bro. Last time we did this was it was supposed to be Chainsaw Man, but Chainsaw Man that didn't go so well. But last time it was Bungo Stray Dogs. Now we're looking at JJK, or else known as Jujutsu Kaisen. So the what we're doing right now, as we know currently, as the recording of this, JJK season 2 part 2 is out currently. It's not really part 2; it's like continuing after a break. It's currently out, and the Shibuya arc. So we're not going to be covering that. We're going to be covering everything prior to season 2. You only watched season 1 in the movie, right?
Yup.
Okay. So I am currently caught up with the manga. I've been reading the manga chapter by chapter, and those who are reading the manga, you know what's happening, and that shit fire, bro. But anyways,
Nah.
we're only gonna be talking about the anime. Now we went back and rewatched season 1, and let's first give our base thoughts. No spoiler, no going in depth, but just our base thoughts. What were your thoughts? Last.
I'll, I'll, I'll sum it up with one word.
Oh,
It's like spectacular. In my point of view,
spectacular.
one word.
Okay. Or is it spectacular because the animation, or is it spectacular because it was actually good? Because I know the animation goes hard. It's just which one is it?
I think it's spectacular because of the animation. Story-wise, it didn't make sense at the beginning, but as you watch the movie, it does make a lot of sense. It finally connects the dot, at least for me.
Mm. The movie JJK Zero connects the dots for you.
Yep.
In
Yep.
what way exactly? This is not an interview, but I'm really curious. We never talked about JJK before, that's why it's not an interview. But I'm really curious. In what way did it like connect the dots for
No,
you?
for example, Gojo,
Uh
as he
huh.
says that he's the strongest, when you start the episode off and he says, Yuji asks Gojo, can you beat Sukuna?
That's episode two
And
though.
saying, exactly. And exactly, in
Yeah.
episode 2, it's not going in season directly, but in episode 2, as he asked them, he said, I can still beat Sukuna, even with all of his fingers combined.
Mm,
We,
interesting. I'm saying this for manga readers, but anyways.
we didn't see this until few instances in the show because we barely got Gojo's display scene of his power. We got more in depth about Megumi and
Mm,
Yuji, but in the
mm.
movie, uh, the whole arc of Geto and Gojo's dynamic, we truly saw how proficient Gojo was with his abilities.
Mm.
That's one thing that connected the dot of how strong he was. If that man really wanted to pummel someone, he can pummel.
Yeah, but we still got like Gojo's like power up, or at least its display of power when he fought
Yeah,
Judo. Was his name right? I can't. It's the dude with the volcanic powers.
yeah.
Judo, right? That's the name.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we did get to see a little bit of it. Well, not entirely, because he completely overpowered Judo. But he gave this is the one thing that I really absolutely love about JJK. It's unique use of their power system. Now later on they give a lot more explanation, but the basics that we know of the curse technique. So there's curse technique, there's reverse curse technique, and then there is the help me out here
Domain.
domain
Domain is that.
the domain, right? And so the way that these curse techniques work is it's really interesting because it has to do with your cursed energy, and how if you reverse your cursed energy, it's a reverse technique, and using your technique and then your curse technique, but then you reverse it, it's a reverse curse technique. But the way it works is very unique, is that number one, it reverses everything in you, kind of like what's the name's power from Bleach. You haven't watched Bleach, right?
Nope.
What are you doing? You're sleeping on such good animes. Fake anime fan, bro. Like you don't watch Bleach, you don't watch One Piece. You what happened?
Hey, I'm watching One Piece. Hey, don't screw me. I'm watching One Piece.
Okay, but no, Bleach is like hella fire right now. Like, bro, I told you,
I was in your blood.
huh?
I was in your blood war. That's why.
Yes, it's so good. Like every episode is banger after banger, bro. Anyways, back to JJK. um, so let's start with. So your thoughts is that it's fantastic, right? About
Yeah,
JJK, right?
but
The
there's one thing I would like to elaborate on the curse technique.
okay,
Just like you said, curse techniques and reverse curse techniques in domain.
yeah,
You need to remember that they also explain that all of these abilities and techniques are inherent through birth.
yeah.
So not everybody can use the same technique as Satoru Gojo or can use as Megumi.
That's interesting
We need
because there's also there's curse techniques that are inherited from birth, and there are curse techniques that anyone with curse energy can use. Like for example,
yes.
Black Flash is one that anybody can use,
Yeah, but
right?
it's more of not a technique, but more of like an energy inside your body because
It's
it,
part of your curse energy,
it's part
essentially.
of your cursed energy,
Yeah.
essentially. But in the movie, if you watch the movie, we saw Yuta using cursed speech,
But the thing is,
using Rika.
Yuto, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but Yuto's curse technique is, or either his curse technique or reverse curse technique, I'm not entirely sure. One of them is copy. You can copy anybody's the technique one for one.
Yeah, but that's just making it broken.
It
Literally.
yes, but you see, he's like it's like chakra in Naruto. They don't have infinite amounts unless you're Gojo. You don't have a near infinite amount unless you're Gojo or Sukuna for that matter. You're limited on how much you can use that technique, right?
Yeah, but I'm starting to think, and then this is my point of view. I'm starting to
Yeah.
think that as the manga is progressing, I think you can increase your cursed energy
Ye-
because
yeah.
I
Good.
think the reason why I'm saying is because they say Sukuna was once a human that became a cursed spirit, and now he's known as a special great cursed object because of his fingers, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But how did he become a cursed spirit in the first place? So, and how can someone inject like cursed energy into it? So I was thinking maybe there's a way you can increase your curse energy by being in the presence of many other cursed objects, or maybe cursed spirits cursing you could make you into
That
giving you more.
yes, that thing is, all of your questions is answered and more, and you'll get more questions in the Shibuya arc. That's why either you gotta watch the Shibuya arc and then ask these questions, because what the question you're asking, they do answer it, but it's only later down the line, so I don't want to spoil it. How they answered and what they and why Sukuna became a cursed spirit. It's very very interesting because of another character you meet later on. Anyway, you don't know this character yet. He will be appearing later on, and you'll see from his example as to why Sukuna's why he became a cursed spirit. But he was a very powerful cursed user. He was you could say he was the Gojo of his time. That's why it
Okay,
was so dangerous.
let me ask you this:
Oh,
is it someone like Geto who came back because we saw Geto die in the movie?
did he die
Okay,
though? Like, did he die? We didn't see it. We don't see someone die. Is he really dead?
hey, is it related to those markings on Geto's head?
I don't know. You know that I don't know. But that's why I'm just saying, did he really
Oh, okay.
die? Because we never get to actually see him die in the movie. You remember in the movie they panned away from it, and all you hear
Yeah,
was
but
just a shot. Exactly.
yeah, like a splat.
Yeah. But now you see him in present day, so it's very strange. Eh?
It's very strange. Plus, if I'm being honest with you, I was thinking that more or less like good. Now, since he had a whole society built with like curse users and everything, right?
Ghetto.
People, yeah,
Uh.
he had disciples who he taught about how to use curse energy and everything. I
Mm.
thought the first thing he would do was go get them again and start his entire plan, but it went totally different.
Yes,
As,
it you could I see what you mean. I see what you mean, and yeah, you could say that something's up with him, right? But the thing is, Ghetto didn't actually he got curse users like sorcerers that had more cursed energy than everybody else. Cause see, the thing out with the reason why curses exist, they explain it in this first season, right? How curses
Yeah,
exist is due to
exactly.
negative emotions and whatnot, right?
Due to negative emotions being clustered up. So, for
Yes.
example, schools, hospitals,
Yeah.
graveyards, where there's
But
negative emotions.
the
Yeah,
negative emotion comes off of the humans, right? They
exactly.
that's where the fear, the anger, the resentment, stuff like that come off the humans. That means that they have that every human is born with cursed energy, but they don't. Not everybody knows how to use it. Not everyone has the same amount as the same as each other. Some has more cursed energy than others. Those who have more cursed energy
Okay.
are sorcerers, right? They explain this in the first season. I'm pretty
Yeah, okay,
sure
okay.
they explain this. It's
No,
why
no,
Yuji
no,
is so broken when you first
no,
see him in the first episode,
no.
breaking
I
world
understand.
records like that. You know what I mean?
They didn't explain it that way, but they did when because they explained it in the movie
Mm.
as we were explaining with Utah
Yeah.
and and then they explained it in the around maybe episode 3 or episode 4. Maybe I could be wrong, but
Mm.
they did explain it. But they didn't explain that every user had the ability. They just explained the premise of it. What you're
Mm.
proposing is kind of interesting, actually. They didn't elaborate on that.
Ah, okay, okay. They do in the first 5 episodes, which I did say I should have watched. They do go into detail on that, on how actually curses exist. But
Are we talking about season
it's
2?
yes. You have to watch that. They elaborate further on that. I'm just giving like the very basis. That's a little bit of a spoiler. Sorry, but
No,
it's just it's a taste of what they explain in this in the future episodes. But
uh-huh.
yeah, really, but seeing as how the one thing that I wanted to touch on in JJK, right? JJK is I remember when this manga actually came out. Not even the anime. I remember when the manga came out. I didn't read it back then, but I still remember this being like a huge manga where everyone was like talking about it. That was JJK Zero back then. Now it's JJK. Point
Why do you
being,
say that?
uh,
Why do you say that? The anime man is always the one who starts it.
what do you mean?
Oh, bro, we all saw him do that. He made a one video. Everybody was talking about it after that. It just
Wait, I'm confused. What are you talking about?
we're talking about Joey. How he just talked about JJK in one of his videos, and it just skyrocketed. Everybody was like watching it after that, and it's a
Oh,
masterpiece. It's a masterpiece.
I actually don't remember because I never watched Joey's video on that. All I did was actually watch just the anime because I remember the poster back in the day when the manga was out, right? But this is a shonen manga
Not
classified
saying
as
it.
it's not a seinen, but I consider this genre this manga itself not shonen but semi shonen because especially when you get to episode was it 4 when when they
Mhm.
first encounter the special grade for the first time, the first special grade curse user, curse spirit. When you
Yeah,
get to
yeah, yeah.
that point, I remember watching it for the first time. I was like, "Whoa! I thought this was a shonen. Why is everything going dark?" It got very dark, even to the point where Yuji dies. It's always like, how do you get to that point? You know what I mean? And then even later on with what was his name? Mayuri, not Mayuri.
No, no, no. But is it Nobara? What are we talking about? Which episode?
I'm talking about
When?
the human curse spirit looking dude who touches you and you
Oh,
turns your soul.
Mahito.
Mahito. Oh, I hate Mahito. I hate.
I hate that motherfucker.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry. I'm sorry. I hate him.
I also hate him. Okay, because it was that arc, right? You would think like this is the arc where they really show you that this isn't like a shonen because you know how in Naruto has nine tails within him, right? And then whenever he's like
Yeah,
in real serious trouble, nine tails pops out, or when he gets really angry or something like that, right?
exactly.
But here
And,
Sakura says, "The fuck you asking me about, nah? What you mean? I ain't gonna help you."
no, no, exactly. And then at the same time, both of them laughing. And I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck?
Yeah, that hit because it's like, oh, this isn't this type of show. This is something else, bro. It really like changed my opinion of the show. But not in my opinion. Like I completely thought this was something else. But then the show went in that direction, and I was like, damn. Okay, okay, I see where you're going. You know what I mean?
Oh my god! And I'm not gonna be saying this, but they took a really really twisted turn with entire things with
Mm.
Yuji finally
Oh,
finding a good friend, and then that friend turning out to die in front of him, becoming a cursed spirit, and he had
they
to kill him.
they really fucked you with that opening because he's like in the opening as well, and you're like, oh, okay. When you see him for the first time in the show, you're like, oh, is he
You're
gonna
gonna be like,
is he
he's gonna be
joining it?
afraid.
Yeah, is he joining? Is he gonna be? No, no, no. He dies. But, okay, but it was the one thing that like really shocked me about this show. It really shocked me that little difference there. But what would
Nah,
you what?
not
Hmm? Second?
No, no, no. That's not the only thing that shocked me.
Oh, oh.
I got shocked. The other thing I got shocked with. I don't know. Many people will be saying, "Hey, this is not a shocking material," but like Todo coming in is like, "What type of woman do you like?" And I'm like, Jesus, man,
Wait, what is his name again? Todo or Toji?
Todo
Todo, the man, the myth, the legend himself.
comes up and says, "What type of woman you like?"
And then
And
you answered wrong. It's like I'm gonna beat your ass, bro. The fuck you talking about?
it's Yuji's explanation. I like women like Jennifer Lawrence with a big butt. And I'm like,
But
damn, sis.
thing is, okay, listen to me. Why you say Jennifer Lawrence though? When you first said Jennifer Lawrence, who did you think of? Do you know who Jennifer Lawrence is?
I know,
Who's she?
no,
You don't know who she is, right?
no.
Rather, do you know Hunger Games?
But that no.
That's Jennifer Lawrence. I think
Okay.
so. Wait, hold on. Wait a second. Let me just make sure that I'm not
Uh,
stupid.
yeah, you're right. No, no, no,
Uh,
you're right.
am I okay?
Yeah, she was also in X Men. So
Right, she was Mystique. Was it Mystique? I almost said I said almost mosquito, bro. What the fuck? Anyway, I haven't seen X Men in 5 years, so forgive me for getting that wrong. But yeah,
oh my,
wait. There's another thing I wanted to know what you think. Like in the show, do you think is as good as people are like pointing it out to be? This particular show, JJK.
okay.
What are
No,
your
this
like thoughts on that? Because I think it's really good. With the way they're writing, it's part the way they're writing the curse technique, the way they're writing. Well, I'm later in the manga, so the curse technique is further explored, and a lot of the characters are further explored. But
mm,
what do you think?
okay. Before I say my stuff, I need to be at least grounded. You know,
Yeah, okay,
be
yeah,
like
yeah. Go ahead,
be
go
unbiased.
ahead.
So be grounded. I would say story wise and being consistent, it is really good. And
Mm,
especially in JJK, what I've seen is that there's a trope. I don't know. You
mm.
see the episode. Let's dial it back down. You saw
Yeah.
Mahito, right?
Yes.
Before he was fighting Mahito. What? Wait, what's the guy's name? The guy with the glasses.
Oh, you mean
Oh,
Nanami? How can you forget the guy with
Nanami.
the really good voice,
Ah,
bro?
bruh,
he,
sorry,
he
sorry,
plays
my
way too
bad,
many
my
guys.
bad, my bad. Don't
Okay.
come at me, Nanami. The way he was telling us about the curse technique,
Mm,
the more you explain it to the user, the more stronger it gets, the more it's more advantageous for you. That trope in JJK,
mm,
normally when you're watching a show and they explain
mm.
their powers,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a dumb thing. But JJK took it to another level when they use it as an advantage. The
Yes,
more I
but
explain my curse technique, the
it
more stronger it gets.
that's true. But it's an advantage and disadvantage at the same time because the more you explain it, the powerful it gets, right? But
The weaknesses
they
explode.
yes, but everyone now knows how to counter it. As long as they know your power, there's a way to counter it. That's how curse techniques are. If you know your curse technique, then they can counter that curse technique. That's what's so weird about it. When
Yeah.
they it's an advantage, it's advantageous for you because your powers get stronger. But now your enemy knows your entire ability. You see what I'm saying?
Uh, that. So being grounded and being unbiased, it's a really good show
Mm,
in a place. But
Not
As
okay.
people as hype as people have hyped it up, it's
Mm,
not that,
mm,
not that hype. It's a very good show. It deserves its own category. It's not a masterpiece. There's
mm.
some instances where it's cringy, but I'm like, skip it.
Which one? Wait. What are you talking about?
But the instances in the anime when we're called Yuji and Nobara is always having the chit chat, and he's just like, oh,
Oh,
come on, I can skip that skip it. I want to go to the
but
good
it's
part.
yeah, but like they okay. See, I disagree with you there, but I understand what you mean. But because I really like Nobara and Itadori's interactions, and they bouncing their like bubbly personality bouncing off of Megumi's very serious and gloomy personality. Even though not so gloomy, but like it's very serious personality. It's what makes them like it's the anime trope of there being one serious ones and two bubbly ones bouncing off of their serious personality. It makes it a little bit more entertaining to watch like three friends like that. You know what I mean?
I agree, but at the same time, when you have to look at it, we only got this display of Megumi's emotion in the last couple of episodes when you found that he was a high school delinquent. He used to beat up other high school delinquent because they bothered him. What the fuck?
Oh right, yeah. I remember that.
That one, and then we find that Yuji is strong as fuck, motherfucker, who can break an entire steel beam with just throwing a ball. He made
Yeah,
the coach shocked.
yeah. I understand that, but then you gotta remember, Yuji is like currently the weakest in the entire JJK world. Like, bro, this man.
Nah, bro. Nah. If
Okay,
you're talking about weak, we're talking about weak. Then Maki Zenin would be more weaker because he has
bro, you do
no
not
curse.
know. Okay, you do not know Maki. The reason why I say that is this is why you had to watch the first 5 episodes of season 2, because someone just like Maki. Okay, this is not a spoiler but a hint. Someone just
No,
like Maki.
I know this much. I don't know as much, but I
Uh,
know it's like it's similar to Maki, but it's Koji Fushiguro because one
yes.
of because I
No,
just got from it.
he's exactly like Maki.
Yeah, exactly, like Maki. So I got spoiled from that point, but I don't know anything about the guy or what his abilities are. I
Okay,
only got to know is that he's similar to Maki. I don't know how he's similar, but he's either similar
he
and
look he's similar to Maki, and he killed Gojo once.
nah,
Now
bro,
take that
nah.
into your mind. He's similar to Maki, and he killed Gojo once, bro.
Wait, are we talking about Gojo as a teacher or post Gojo?
No, I'm talking about pre Gojo, not post Gojo. But like seriously, then he was like pre Gojo was already special grade. He was like at the top. He was one of the most powerful sorcerers even back then, and yet he still got him. Can you believe it?
Damn, son.
Like, but you will see why. The reason why I say he's close to Maki is in the early stages. Maki's abilities is so overpowered. Because you see everything that she was supposed to have curse energy. There is no such thing as having no curse energy at all. Even humans, regular humans, have some curse energy, not a lot. Like very some. That's why curse spirits exist. Negative emotions, right? But Maki has
But, ba-
none at
but
all.
is it because of the Heavenly Pact? Because we also got to understand the Heavenly Pact for Robot.
Yeah. He as well has a heavenly pact where it's still much unexplored though. Even in the latest chapters, people are very confused about it because it doesn't work in the same way because Maki's heavenly pact is not the same to what's his name? He's not just robot, bro. He has a name.
So, because they call him Robot for a couple of episodes and then they explain his name.
I don't know his name. I can't remember now his name. He's
Wait, I'm going.
he's really good. He's a very interesting character, that one, because he also has a heavenly pact.
Ah, his name is Muta. I might be butchering this name. Sorry, please.
Just send it to me the name, bro. I'll say it properly. Type it on Discord.
I might be. Sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, I can't pronounce names, even though I speak English.
It is Kaokichi. Kaokichi.
Oh,
Like
okay,
Kokichi. Kokichi.
okay, Kokichi.
Yeah.
Alright.
There
It's
you
a
go.
Kokichi.
Ah, okay, you got it. Muto Kokichi. Yeah. But we'll just call him robot from now on because that's a bit of a mouthful.
It's funny they call him Robot. What do you mean?
Yeah, I see why. But going back to that, the heavenly pact, right? There you can see how different the heavenly pact is for him and
Really?
for Maki. Maki gets in what was supposed to be cursed energy has been transferred into pure strength. Now think about that. If someone like Goju who has near infinite cursed energy gets has all of his cursed energy turned into pure strength, what do you think that's gonna be?
Oh my god, fuck me.
So
But okay,
don't sleep
no,
on
no,
Maki. She powerful, bro.
no. But if you're comparing the two to same thing like
Mm.
this is like Yuji, because they compare Yuji and Maki together
Yeah, cause
when they were doing the trial arc when they were
yeah, that's true.
with the Kyoto sister school. They're
Mm-mm-mm.
saying they were fighting him and they said Yuji has it, but if it's just same as what you're trying to say, the heavenly pack is related to cursed energy because they
Mm.
don't explain this in the season. I'm going based on your words.
Yeah.
That make Wouldn't that make Yuji strong because he has the best of both worlds? He has infinite amount of strength plus with cursed energy.
Yeah, no, you see, Yuji is a special case, but I won't spoil that. I'm
There's a
not.
reason why.
It's the
The
reason.
reason,
The thing is,
I
there's a lot of mystery surrounding Yuji. Okay, even
yeah,
now,
but
I'm still like, who is this
yeah,
man?
exactly. But there's at the last episode, episode 24,
Mm.
when Yuji's fighting the curse paintings, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Curse paintings.
Oh,
We are related to we found out a sorcerer that's even worse than Sukuna, known as Kanjaku.
Kenjaku.
Kenjaku. We found about
Oh,
we know about
right.
him.
Mm.
We found about him, and then we find about he took a woman who was able to give birth to a half human, half spirit, and was able to have doing the deeds. So he
Mm.
took her
Mm.
and made her do 9 of them. Right,
Oh,
so
okay.
four of them,
Okay.
the four curse paintings. So
Focus
among
paintings.
them, yes, among them, as
Mm.
Yuji was finding them, I found like a little bit balance between them. Like when Nobara was saying in this dialogue that what's wrong, she
Mm.
was not showing any signs of emotion, but Yuji's like I can feel them in their place. I
Mm.
can resemble with them. I
Mm.
was like that's that sounds very out of place for some reason. And if you look at Yuji,
Mm.
whenever he's fighting cursed spirits, he always seems out of place. He's for some reason when he's fighting cursed spirits, he can resonate with himself.
Yes.
It's like in the prison arc as well.
Mm.
When he
Mm.
was doing it, he was like, "I'm not strong. All of these cursed spirits are stronger than me. Why is he putting cursed spirits?" Dialogue doesn't make sense. That's where it was
I
giving me off-putting.
Yeah, I see. I can see what you mean. I can see what you mean. I understand that. I'm not gonna say any further about that. But let's just say that Yuji is a very mysterious protagonist. But the thing is, the one thing that I wanted to bring up with JJK, and this is the one thing that irks me, even though I'm like up to date with the chapters, right? Now, tell me the one important thing about Yuji, right? Every main character has something important about them that makes them the main character for who we're following in this world, right? Now, the Luffy with him having his gold become the Pirate King, that's something important to him. Naruto having the QB, it's something important in that world, but not really born to him. So each of these characters, they have something important. Every main character has that, right? They have something important to them that's like important to the main plot of the story. Otherwise, why would they be there in the first place?
Mm.
Right? Now, Yuji, the reason why he's even important to the plot of the story is because he has Sukuna, he's like a cage for Sukuna. That's what makes him rather important, right? Other than that, can you tell me anything else about Yuji that's like distinct? Because even his strength is something Maki has. His Black Flash is even he's not even his own curse technique. So what does Yuji his character has a lot, right? But what does him as a main character bring to this show? If you get what I'm saying,
Exactly. Yeah.
you
Now
notice.
you now you think about it. No, no. I'm actually realizing he doesn't have anything special about him at all.
Yeah, because he could have easily been in the background, and another character like Megumi could have been the main character. Because even Megumi has something that is relative to the main plot of the story. Number one, he's a sorcerer, but also he has
Nah,
he's part of a Zainian clan. But not that he can't be completely because his type of character, the gloomy, serious type of character, he does cannot
it,
really
it,
carry a show like that. You know what I mean?
mhm. Yeah, but wait. Um, I don't know. Yuji sounds like a very dull character, but at the same time, he sounds. The one thing I can say that what Yuji has going for him
Mm,
is the way he makes, way he doesn't discriminate between spirits and like curses and what you call humans.
mm.
Anyone in this case, where
Yeah,
he can empathize. That's the only thing that's the trade-off we have.
yeah, I know, but that's like part of his character. What does he himself add to the main plot besides being a vessel for Sukuna? For Sukuna, Sukuna, what the fuck? Sukuna.
No, nothing. Because Yuji has the same traits as Yuta. He's able to learn fast, do everything.
He's
There's
yeah, he's
nothing.
but thing is that's the thing. When you compare him to Yuta as the main character, because Yuta was originally supposed to be the main character, considering I think the writer made him a bit too overpowered. Because considering that JJK Zero came out prior to JJK or the original first season, did you know that? That's why it's called Zero.
Wait, really? I thought
The
JJK Zero came after it.
Yeah, the movie came afterwards. The original manga that originally came out was JJK Zero, because JJK Zero came out
Ah,
in the manga came out in 17, 16. I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna make sure, but it
okay.
was 27. And then after that volume, that one volume, he released JJK. So originally, Yuta was supposed to be the main character and not Itadori.
But I'm sorry. I have no words to say for this because if he did go with that route, it would be like, ah, shit, here we go again, another OP character.
I know what you mean, but the thing is, Yuta has so much more importance. He's a number one. He's a special grade, and by default a special grade. Yuta isn't that overpowered as well. He's on a level below, like 2 3 levels below Gojo, right? So he's not as overpowered as Gojo is. If Gojo is the main character, then yes, you can say that. Oh, another overpowered character is here, but Yuta is not. You see what I'm saying? When you watch the movie, right, you can see that Yuta has some importance. Even what's his name wanted to go after him because of his curse spirit.
Spirit, but at the same time, we also find out in the end of the movie he's related to one of distinct cursed sorcerer who was able to trap cursed spirits.
Yeah, somewhat a distant relative of Gojo. But I'm not
Like,
saying I know that he is quite overpowered. I'm not saying one is better than the other. That is true, right? But the problem with that was that in Yuta's in Itadori Yuji's case, he has other things relating him to the plot. But I can't see him having an ability because what is his ability that's separate from everyone else?
okay, this is like a total curveball, but if I
Mm.
can say this in a sense, you know the Kyoto Sister School tournament that they were having, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a scene after the tournament arc with Todo. Sorry, my man, the myth, the legend himself,
Yeah,
Todo.
Toda. My friend. Yeah, what about
Best of friendo.
him? Best of friend. Yeah.
When he says that we went to high school and middle school together, and Itadori telling him we haven't gone to high school or anywhere else. That line stood out of place. A
I
moment
know,
that
but then just the,
I was
you can chalk it up to Todo's imagination. Trust me. Top of that.
okay, fine. That I can believe that he is he's like a nut job, but a good nut job. Like,
Yes, a very powerful fucking nut job. Like come on now. This man's
uh,
crazy.
but we see the same instance in the last episode. You know when they're sitting down, the cursed corpses. Cursed corpses. The man Yuji was about to kill
Mm.
was able to see Yuji him as brothers. I was like, this is too much of a coincidence. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. I see what you mean. I know what you mean.
I was like, nah, bro, you can't have the same thing all over a psycho who is like super strong but a good guy who beats up you for having distinct taste in a woman. The same with the cursed
Oh, are you
spirit.
talking about Todo? Or with
Yeah,
okay. You're saying Todo, and it was once with Todo, and then another time with this curse spirit, right?
exactly. One of the cursed corpse painting, and I was like,
Yes. Again, you
nah.
can chalk it up to it being an imagination of this curse spirit or UG, one of the two. Just for now, Just chalk it up for that as your and Todo specifically. Todo specifically. Chalk it up to his imagination.
This, I'm just sorry. I had to laugh. This bro had the imagination in his dreams with Yuji going to confess to his idol right then and there,
I
then coming
know.
back. I was like,
By the way, did you know that he also got trained by a special grade? Did they tell you that in the first season? Right? They told you that.
no, 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 they didn't. They showed someone who introduced Toto to the school. We got a glimpse of the character, but not his name.
Okay, no, I know, no, yeah, I'm not saying, but that character is a very powerful character. But anyways, it's because they do mention that currently there is like only 4 special grades or 3
Among the four,
sorcerers. There's 4, right?
yeah, yeah. In the movie, they explain among the four special grades that got this. Sorry, in JJK Zero,
Uh
and they were saying,
okay,
uh, uh,
minus Ghetto. In the main season, they do mention how many special grades there
no,
are
no,
currently.
they said the four special grades that got what should I say, that
Uh,
left Jujutsu High. They never told how many. They said the four among the four who got kicked out of Jujutsu High.
oh, among the
Four
4, there is
among
4, but like
the
in
four.
in the whole
But
world,
Geto,
there's only a
no,
few special grades. I don't know if they named all of them yet.
they haven't named it yet. But we do know there are four who left Jujutsu High because of them all. One is Suguro Geto.
Yeah, I
And
know that.
the other one I think is Kenjaku because they referenced him. He's a disbanded sorcerer, and they got kicked him out of Jujutsu Society in general,
Yeah,
and left
Jujutsu
Jujutsu
Society, not Jujutsu
High,
High.
not
Yeah, yeah.
not Jujutsu Society.
I'm
So I'm going with
I'm surprised about one thing that they mentioned. Thing is, I don't remember hearing Kenjaku in the first season, but now that you bring it
they
up,
do.
they do bring it. I don't remember it,
Oh,
so
they bring it up because in the Kyoto Sister arc, as
uh,
you were saying, someone set up a barrier, and we found out one of the guy was the fuck what's the name of the principal who sets up the barriers?
the old man,
No, no, no,
or
no. For the entire Jiu-Jitsu high school for Kyoto and Tokyo.
are you talking about the
Uh,
one who sets up the barriers for all of Jujutsu's facilities, the Jujutsu High?
yeah,
Yeah, his name is uh
Jigen? No, not Jigen.
not
That's
not
an old
Jigen.
person.
They do mention he is a character that's very important. They do mention him. He's a very important individual. He's a very important individual because
Yeah, I know.
he's the like
Yeah,
entirely for the entirety of JJK.
yeah.
He's the
I know he's
hmm?
No, I know he's a very important character. Season 2, Part 1. I'm saying Part 1 because the Shibuya arc hasn't started, and the people are saying the same character is very important. I don't know his name,
I
but
know. That's why I'm getting it. Hold on a second. I'm getting the name. But yeah, I get what you mean when you say Kenjaku, because thing is when Kenjaku I don't remember it, but I'm pretty sure he was. It's now that you're mentioning it, it's coming back to me that he was mentioned at the end of JJK season 1. But remember that name. Remember that name.
I'm looking through this entire thing. The principal says it. I remember it.
Okay, but someone then broke down the barrier, correct?
No, 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 no. Someone didn't broke down. There's a thing about here is that there's few doors that connected to the treasury where they keep the cursed spirits in. If you can open one of those doors that link up to Jujutsu High, you can go instantly inside of there. But there's another thing that they say that
Mm.
the school itself is
Mm-mm.
protected by cursed energy. But one of the special great curses, I'm gonna reference the name. The special great curse has the ability to nullify it.
Wait, a special grade curse can nullify another curse, right?
Hanami, Hanami. There we go.
Hanami.
Hanami. She can erase her presence and she can go inside there into Jujutsu High, and then one of the doors can link to it. This is where Geto came in, and he was able to surpass the security and go to the treasury where they keep the cursed objects, and that's where the painting was revealed.
Oh.
By the
Okay.
way,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
known as the four cursed womb paintings.
Womb paintings. Yes, 4 cursed womb paintings, because they are basically a mixture of cursed spirits and humans, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Exactly,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah. But they were
But we
all
don't
failed
know.
though. They are all failed. That's why they look as how they look.
Yeah, but I don't know why did they say it was fair because when we were fighting them, I'm saying,
They
imagine I was
powerful.
meant.
They're powerful. I'm not saying that. they,
I mean, in my head, it's like they're powerful. It's like supposed to be a success. How can they
exactly.
not be?
What made them failures? And yeah, I guess you could say that. But okay, remember when I was bringing up JJK, when I was bringing up not JJK, when I was bringing up Itadori Yuji being a character, a very uninteresting main character, right? And then I was talking about that. Now
Mm-hmm.
I did mention, I did mention that one of the main factors that he has that is for like the entirety of the plot that makes him important to the plot is Sukuna, right? Him having Sukuna as inside of him, or him being Sukuna's cage, not really vessel but cage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what if Sukuna is removed from Itadori Yuji? What happens then to Itadori Yuji's character?
Apparently becomes a boring character. After that, there's nothing special about you, the Doryuchi.
Exactly, right? That's the one thing that's weird about this main character, because even if what's his name, Yuta, even if he loses Rika, Yuta, Rika, god damn it, even though he loses Rika, he doesn't really lose everything. He's still a very powerful sorcerer, near or close to the level of Gojo, as he can also use reverse curse technique. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean when I say he's like separate from the two.
Okay, let's give. This is my analysis, but this is my theory in a sense.
Mm.
What if, in the meantime, as long as Sukuna is in his body, maybe Yuji has gotten some of his curse techniques, or some of it, which makes him a special grade after that. This might,
You
I
might.
just said,
I know what you mean. That sounds like an interesting theory, but what do you have to back that up though? Like what like?
because Satoru Gojo himself said that as more as him and the vessel, as the fingers
Mm,
resonate more with them, and as he gets synchronized more with them, which is also emphasized by Sukuna himself, because the more he consumed the fingers, the more it resonated within his body,
mm.
and Yuji lost control of Sukuna in that episode, which is episode 5, where Sukuna took it over, and he had to make a pact with them.
Yeah, yeah, I know that.
Yeah. So the more the fingers are residual inside of him, and eventually, if someone else eats the fingers as well, or something, maybe,
Mm.
or whatever, maybe some of that residual curse energy that resonated with Itadori will remain in the soul.
Yeah,
Because
that actually sounds plausible. That does sound plausible now that I think about it.
that's what I'm going on. Because
Mm,
I don't know whether it's possible that there could be two Sukunas. Because Sukuna says that his consciousness, a different consciousness in all of his fingers. Like Itadori consuming Sukuna reactivated them all. Them all. So here's my guess and my theory: that some other guys might have eaten the maybe in season 2 in Shibuya, because I have zero to no idea in Shibuya, that they
mm.
might eat in the finger or whatever, and there might
Yeah.
be a second Sukuna like we got to see in Naruto, with Minato having the other QB and Naruto having the other one.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you mean. But I don't. I see how what you're talking about. But that would like mean that Sukuna having in his 20 different fingers, it is just his soul is split 20 times like a Horcrux, right? So if
Voldemort,
yeah, yeah,
Voldemort.
like Voldemort. That's what I mean. He's like a Horcrux. So if someone else, there would be two Sukunas, but would they be able to emerge at the same time, both from Yuji and from another person? I don't think that would be possible. I don't think that. Maybe it is. I don't know. It could. That would be spoiling the later chapters. Anyways.
Either that, or either this is my guess, is that either
Mm,
well, how should I say, when Yuji is in his Sukuna form,
mm,
Sukuna can cut off his fingers and then feed those fingers combined with the fingers he have to that certain person, and all Sukuna goes into that person.
But the thing is, yeah, you cannot cut off Yuji's fingers because that's still Yuji's fingers. The reason that the fingers of Sukuna are his original fingers from his original body's hand. That's
Okay,
what.
but okay, so that basically means that my if it's that. I don't think that my other theory was kind of right. So I'm just going with theories. I
Yeah,
don't
I
even
know.
know.
That's fine. It's better that way because the shock is so much more. The shock is so much more. That's why I say it's better that way, not to know exactly what is happening.
Okay, I'll take it as that.
You
But
know.
oh,
Mm.
that's the one.
Thing is, there's another thing I wanted to like bring up with the show is that in JJK zero right now throughout JJK season one, they you start out the season with you either Yuji getting used to stuff, but by episode 5 already he's dead, which is a bit like
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Rest
I,
in peace. Rest in peace. You useless son of a bitch. Rest in peace.
true, but he was by episode 5 already he was dead. But then, if I remember correctly, episode 6 and 7 is him training to use his new powers, and then before onto the mid-season finale, he gets the mission with Nanami, right? That whole sequence, such a great, well written one, I would say. That whole sequence. What do you think of it? I think it was like wow, because
Uh,
everything from the whole Mahito mission, Mahito being a manifestation of human fear of human, was something like that, right? Or fear of the
Maito, Maito being the manifestation of I think human fear or human disgust.
or the soul, human fear of the soul, or something. Yeah, yeah, human disgust maybe,
Yeah,
because his
human
ability
disgust.
is to most completely warp someone's soul,
Exactly.
which is wow. And so, what did you think of it? I thought that was like
Okay.
really interesting.
Yeah, but there's I think I look.
Mm,
It's a good arc,
mm,
but before starting the arc,
mm.
there's a pact that he's supposed to make with Sukuna. When Sukuna was telling him, "How about this? Uh, there's two conditions. There's a word he's gonna say, and Itadori must give him that word,
Mm-hmm.
control over Sukuna, and he's not gonna touch any of his comrades,
Yeah.
and he will forget about if he made the contract deal.
Yeah, I know, but like, so
Sukuna,
Yuji doesn't even know what the word is that he made the contract with.
yeah, with Sukuna at all.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that if Yuji Itadori played this card right, he could have told Sukuna, "I will accept your conditions, but add on a condition like you teach me, or you uh, explain me how to use curse energy more. You help me how to use your abilities more often." I thought that he was gonna add that condition. He's gonna be smart about it and maybe be like, "Okay,
Knowing
I'm
you,
gonna add you."
I see what you mean. Knowing Yuji's personality and knowing Sukuna's personality, I don't think something like that would have been even possible. Seeing Yuji is just doesn't like Sukuna at all, so he doesn't even want to learn his techniques. That he hates him.
I understand that, but Yuji's main goal is to provide other people a good death,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
A burial or some sort.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm emphasizing a proper death. That means their bodies are placed in the proper death, at least
Yes.
half of their body or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Whatever. But I thought if he was smart enough, because that's his goal, it
Mm.
aligns well with Sukunai and he has some other plan. Maybe he could have thought about curse technique, knowledge about curse technique, or made him smarter about it, or
Yeah.
give him some curse sensory or something.
I know
In
that,
my
but
head, I was
now think of this like from Sukuna's perspective. What does Sukuna benefit out of Yuji learning techniques?
it doesn't benefit anything. It's like a plaything.
Yeah, I know he doesn't benefit anything from it, and Sukuna doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself. You see what I mean?
I
And so
agree about that.
so
I agree about
he would make only conditions where he benefits. So even if the because the thing is Yuji doesn't really have the high ground at that point. Yuji was dead when he was making that contract, if I remember correctly, right?
yes, but at the same time, Sukuna was like, okay, I need to use this body. Sukuna had an advantage as well. If Yuji played his card like, for example, that you need me for something,
Mm.
you need me because I'm the only one who has your vessel, has your fingers in.
Yes, but
At that point,
it's actually Yuji's body. Yuji's body is actually disadvantageous to Sukuna because Yuji isn't a vessel for Sukuna, but a cage. So if
okay, that's there.
the
But
mm,
that's where I think where it would be even more disadvantage for Sukuna if he ate it from a curse. Because if curses eat Sukuna's fingers,
he takes
let's be
over
all
that
honest.
no, he takes over that curse's body.
Hell no, bro. We've seen two curses that came out. They didn't even take over. This one was in the
But
last season. This thing.
none of them really ate his finger, though. Remember, they got it from him and then took his finger, and then yeah, Yuji ate it. Remember, most of the fingers Yuji ate.
Yes, but in the garden, where was it? The prison arc. Sorry, the prison arc.
Yeah,
The finger was inside of him. Sukuna himself, you consume my finger, but there was no consciousness. Then it was in the last thing when we see Megumi's incomplete domain, Chimera Shadow Garden,
yeah, yeah.
and we see the same thing. It didn't take over him for some reason. I think the
They
fingers
did.
don't take over.
They can, but it depends on whether or not they consumed it. Because see, they don't consume the same way humans consume by just eating it. They must curse spirits. So if they had consumed it, they would then he would have taken over a cursed body. He doesn't really want to take over a cursed body. He wants a normal body, like a human's body. You remember when he woke up for the first time? You remember what he said? Human flesh is the best.
Ah, yeah, I see. But at the same time, it just gives Yuji more incentive to
So,
to
yeah,
bargain with him.
yeah, but the thing is, Yuji is not smart enough to bargain with Sukuna. But also, Sukuna in that domain where he was overpowered him, right? And so he
No,
would that.
that was Yuji, bro. No, I'm not gonna be saying something to Sukuna. Don't look. I know the man is despicable, but that was Yuji's fault. He said, "Let's brawl to the end."
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and Yuji went along with it, even though Sukuna has like complete control over that whole area. That's why he knew how he knew Yuji's personality is simple, so he was able to manipulate him. And whatever he said to Yuji and made that contract with him, Yuji doesn't know what he made, right? He made that contract so he could use it later on when the time is right. When he can get another body, which isn't Yuji. Because you see, Sukuna's idea and what his goal here is to not be in Yuji's body. Because he can't really take over Yuji's body. Yuji still has control no matter how much Sukuna wants to take over his body. You see what I'm saying?
Ah, but that depends, bro. Now,
Mm,
look, if I'm being honest with him, if Sukuna went with the same trajectory as without making the pact with Yuji,
mm.
could have had control over his body. Because Sukuna himself told him that this was the consequences of not making a pact with a cursed spirit.
Yeah, I know that. But you see, Yuji, he can't take over Yuji's body. It's not that Yuji is not letting him. He can't. That's the weirdest part about this. That's what I don't think you understand because he cannot take over Yuji's body. It's impossible.
Oh,
It
okay.
was
So basically, okay. I understand.
you see what
None
I
of
mean,
them
right?
will
It,
become a hindrance.
he needs to get in another body where he can take over. Yuji has something about him that doesn't allow Sukuna to take over his body. That's why Yuji has some
Either,
control.
either that's a curse technique that he has, or either something like curse manipulation.
It might be a
So,
curse technique, it might be a curse manipulation, it might be something unique to Yuji. I also don't know. Even to this day, even in the latest chapters, they haven't explained why. So,
okay, the other thing I wanna ask, why the fuck does Sukuna look like same as Yuji? I don't know is
what do you
that
mean?
inherited? He looks exactly same as
No,
Yuji
he's in
Itadori.
his goddamn body, so it's just a dude. He's in his body, so whatever he's seeing is just you. Whatever Yuji is seeing is Sukuna in Yuji's body. You're just seeing a reflection of Sukuna through his body. It's like looking at a mirror, and your evil side is in the other mirror.
Oh,
That's basically it.
fuck! Oh God's sake! I thought from my head I thought that it's like
Maybe it is him, right? I also thought the same thing, but then it's not him. But that's just Yuji looking like
okay,
Sukuna. You know what I mean?
okay. That throws my other theory out of the window.
You thought it was like a
He's
descendant.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, no, bro. I don't think that would have been the case. Because that
Otherwise,
that would make him a different story entirely, bro.
I would be like, wait. If he's like a descendant, but they told that Sukuna doesn't have any offspring or any relatives to
Yeah, because the
begin with.
man became a cursed spirit.
Exactly. That was why I was like, how did a descendant came along?
Exactly. It's impossible for him to have any descendants, considering he was a cursed spirit. But yeah, oh, that's basically, huh?
That's, that's very special, that a human becoming a cursed spirit, although he's like stronger.
Yes. The thing is, there's reasons for that. Why humans become cursed spirit. You see, Gojo is a special case. Gojo has so much. He's on the verge of also becoming. He won't become though a cursed spirit because of the way his curse technique works. But
Wait, is that a spoiler?
no, 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 no. It is not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler because it's not a spoiler. I'm just explaining Gojo's abilities. Why he can, because it's how powerful you are as a sorcerer. That's what turns you into a spirit, into cursed spirit. Maybe this is my theory. It's not explained. This is my theory. Okay, it's not a spoiler. That's why. This is my theory of how these might work.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that they might be turning into cursed spirits due to how much cursed energy they have, or they might be the cursed energy might be so high, or the negative emotion might be so high, or something of the sort. Because if that's the case, why I say my theory with Gojo is very powerful, right? So shouldn't he also be a cursed spirit? He says he's as powerful as Sukuna, but Sukuna turned into a cursed spirit. So shouldn't also Gojo turn into a cursed spirit, right?
Oh, that makes sense. But
Yeah.
oh, wait, your theory backs it up. Wait, your theory makes more sense. You
What do
know
you mean?
why?
What?
You know why? When remember the episode in the school with the Yuji and our main guy here who has a curse technique.
Uh.
Mahito
Oh
turns
yeah.
him into a wait,
Mahito.
what- yeah, turns him into a cursed spirit. Wait, but before Mahito turns into a cursed spirit, he was facing severe backlash of the curse energy that he was using.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
changing. It was changing part of his body. You could see pimples on the fucking head of his.
Before Mahito changed him into a curse spirit.
Exactly before he could Mahito changed it.
Then it might be like a curse energy overload where it's not controlled.
Maybe it's like a curse energy overload or something because
Bec- yeah,
you could see deformation of that man's body up top. It's
yeah,
like slowly.
yeah. I see what you mean. Because with Gojo, if that's the case, then Gojo doesn't have a curse energy overflow. You know everything about Gojo's ability, right? Or did they not
Yeah,
explain everything? He explained
they,
infinity. He's repel and absorb, right? Blue and red.
they yes, they explore
Okay.
reversal. They
And
explain no, they explain amplify,
yeah.
reversal, and they explain why nothing can touch him.
Oh, limitless. That's just
Limitless.
that's so overpowered. By the way, just thinking about how that works. So he can stop anything from ever touching him because there is a limitless barrier. Be it, you know how think about this, right? There's an infinite space between him and the object that is coming towards him.
Ah,
That's why an object can never get past that barrier. There's an infinite space. I never understood this when he first explained it, but then later on, once I started to get what he meant, there's a literal infinite space. So it may look like something stopped. It just means that thing is going through an infinite space.
it's like a pocket dimension.
Exactly. Not a pocket dimension, a literal infinity. So it looks like something had stopped. God damn it, a dog. But it looks like something had stopped in front of him, but it's not. It's still moving, but it's moving infinitely in that one spot because it can never get past. Can never get past that infinite. Because infinite means never ending.
God's chosen one, huh? God bless them.
Yeah, that's such an overpowered ability, bro. It's crazy.
But that almost means that no attack could phase you.
Exactly. But the thing is, he has to be constantly focused on that attack for it to never get past it.
Thank you to for making a guy who's so overpowered. He has
So
to just think. He has to just think.
yeah, no, but it drains his ability with his eyes. That's why he covers them. His eyes are on like automatically, and
I,
so
I think
mm,
I think when he was explaining, it's like information overload with his eyes. The
yeah.
reason why he covers them because without even seeing them, without even seeing something. Sorry, I'm speaking the same thing twice.
That's okay. Go on.
He can see the things around him. He can perceive. He can see like a sensory or something. You know, like RPGs when they have, or if you watch
Yes,
Isekai, you know a skill known as perception.
yes, it is like perception, but it's kind of you could think of it like perception, but it's more akin to instead of a perception, it's more akin to, god damn it, what's the word? Him having a Byakugan, for example. Yeah, it's more akin to
Ah,
having a Byakugan because you can see even though with his eyes closed.
oh, okay, okay, okay,
But
okay.
it's his infinity eyes, right? So that those eyes allows him to even before back in the day he had to activate it on and off, right? Now it's constantly on. It's like automatically. That's why infinity is on regardless of whether or not he's focusing on it. But if someone is strong enough to bypass infinity, then that doesn't work. You see what I'm saying?
Ah, okay. But I don't know. It doesn't make sense how you can turn off infinity on and off. Because
That's
when
just. Mm,
Gojo was explaining it, he's like saying that the moment I see something,
you know.
because when he was in his domain is like the exact replication of his ability.
No,
He said, I can perceive information.
yes, this domain, it sends infinity into your brain. That's why
Exactly.
it's your brain will fucking explode
That's
because
what
it
he
never ends.
experiences.
Yeah, he experiences that constantly. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
That's what makes
okay.
him so overpowered. It's so weird. His ability is so strangely amazing. It's so strangely amazing.
Wait, if it overloads his brain with just like a constant just seeing one thing,
Mm.
does curse reversal come in help him? That's how he's able
Yes,
to
that's how he's
keep
able to
keep
keep his
going.
brain. He heals his brain every time he uses it. So he uses it constantly, then heals his brain with reverse curse technique,
Oh,
and over and
fucking
over. That's why they say he has near limitless cursed energy because his man just keeps doing that over and over.
brother. Yes, yes. Oh, okay. How the hell did he? Okay, you know what? Never mind.
How the hell did he
I
get?
am not.
How
How
the
the
hell
hell
did?
did he?
What happened in the Shibuya
Uh,
arc? You mean?
oh, bro, I'm speechless. You know, it, for a show with curses, I thought they might gonna mention a descendant of Abe no Seimei because he's
Abe,
very
Abe who?
Abe no Se- Abe no Seimei. He's a very famous like exorcist. As
Oh,
you say for curses.
like an exorcist in Japan.
In Japan with the lore going because Abe no Seimei, the strongest exorcist out there. Every time it's with him. Shows like Twin Star Exorcist, uh, was it Black Crow? I forgot about it. Had Abe no Seimei and even the Isekai, the strongest sorcerer himself, had that.
Oh, okay.
I was
I
like,
haven't seen any of those, so
exact. So I was thinking maybe a descendant of like Abe no Seimei would be introduced here. It's like,
no.
okay, nah. They're like, fuck off. He's nobody. He belongs to the streets.
No, yeah, yeah. I don't think that's the right term here. Who belongs to the streets? Gojo. What do you think he's doing?
And the same, I was like, the writer was thinking,
Oh,
nah, bruh, he belongs to the streets. He ain't no powerful. All he can do is curse manipulation. My man
Gojo is using infinity. But another thing I wanted to talk about before we end this is the domain expansions, right?
um,
Think about this ability,
God.
right? Just think about this. Domain expansions. When you open up your domain, they go into further detail later on, right? But what they introduced first was when you open up a domain expansion, anyone who's in your domain gets a full idea, like they completely understand your ability, like they completely
Mm.
understand and know how to counter it, right? But you get a guaranteed hit in your domain. It's
Ah,
a non-miss hit. So you see how that balance is. Even though
ah,
the enemy gets all your information, you get a guaranteed hit.
that means you can die instantly.
Exactly. If you have an instant ability like Mahito's domain, when he uses his domain, the only one that you can only break a domain from the outside, but you can't break a domain from the inside.
Yeah.
You still have to be very powerful for that. But there's another way to counter domains is if you open your domain at the same time as someone else opening their domain. That's another way to counter it. So you like clash, domain clash. Like how do you have these extremely complicated stuff in the story? It's once you wrap your head around it, it's so simple. but complicated at the same time. Can you believe it?
It just gives me a headache when thinking about it, like almost.
Yeah, it's why Gojo's limitless domain expansion is so overpowered, because you get a complete information of his limitless ability.
At the
So
same time, at the same time, it's weaker from the outside, same as Mahito's.
yes, we come from the outside, but ain't nobody escaping from that. So
Hey, you never know. Yuji Itadori can punch a hole into it just like he did with Mahito.
yeah, he punched a hole from the outside, not from the inside.
Exactly, but my point is, how the fuck do you punch a hole from the outside from that shit? That shit is strong as hell.
Exactly. That's just how powerful Gojo is, bro. That's how powerful Gojo is. Okay. So before I end this, let's talk about favorite characters. Name all 5 of your characters so far, and I'll name mine.
I have to say, I'm going with Curse. My
Cause
favorite one is Curse. Curse. Uh, as much as I hate Mahito,
uh-huh.
as much as I hate him as a character, I kind of say I like him. He's just written well. He's very
Okay.
written well.
Okay.
Mahito,
Okay.
the
My
man, the myth, the man, the myth, the legend,
Todo.
Todo, of course. Yuta is I gotta like Yuta. Yuta's my
Yeah,
favorite.
I also like you too.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yuta, and then there's another one. We got we barely got to see him because he died off in the episode when Mahito transformed him into a
Oh
crystal.
right, yeah, I did like him as well. I forgot his name
That
though.
that that. So there's four now. The only last one,
Yeah.
the coach.
The coach? Huh?
The
Who?
coach.
Ooh.
Akaji.
Huh?
Akaji, Yuji's coach.
Are you talking about the bear? The one that smacks him every time?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Your selection is trash, bro.
I
No
know, but
Gojo, no Maki. Okay, look. My favorite
no,
5
no.
characters go. My favorite 5 characters go Yuta, Maki, Gojo, and Todo. And one more. Geto. 5 characters. Those are my favorite characters in the show.
I chose overpowered characters. Yes, I chose characters with love.
I don't you know Maki is not just overpowered. She's also one of the most damaged characters in the show. She has one of the saddest stories ever, but that's not anywhere near right now. And Yuta is such a great character. How can you not like Yuta? Gojo?
I
There's so
said
many.
Yuta.
Yeah,
No,
okay,
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah. I know you said Yuta, but you didn't say Gojo. Gojo is not only overpowered, but he has so many layers to him. Okay.
Look.
Ye-
As personally, me watching the movie and season one, I ain't that much attached to Gojo.
Really, goddamn, that's sad. That's sad. You don't understand the man, the myth, legend himself, Gojo, bro.
Never. Look. Personally, for me, I was like, okay, a little bit of it. I can understand, but I don't understand him at all. From maybe you can understand because you've read all of the material, so you can understand it from a deeper level. But
Look,
from someone who's just
dude. Seeing is, I like Gojo from season 1 and his backstory. That's it.
nah, bruh. Nah, bruh. Even when I was watching the show, I thought Itadori was a call character. But when you get to see him, even Megumi, when I'm going through it, like there has to be a story, there has to be something, has
Mm.
to resonate with me. Gojo just comes in and out. He's there in one episode
Yes, that's the
to the
thing
next.
with about Gojo, right? The reason why I like his character so much is not just because he's overpowered, but also because he is one of the most powerful sorcerers, and so he can't be there to save everyone. And you see this with him when it comes to Geto, but he doesn't want to really kill his best friend. He wants to save his best friend, but how can he save his best friend when he doesn't want saving? And how can he be there for every single person on the planet? He's overpowered, but not that overpowered. He's not omnipotent. He's just a very powerful character. And not only is he very powerful, everyone relies on Gojo. So once you take Gojo away, everything goes to shit. You see what I mean?
Okay, I understand. You're giving more hints to Shibuya arc, bruh.
Yeah, I don't mean to give hints to Shibuya but I'm just saying that the fact that everyone relies on Gojo, the whole reason why Nanami left he said it himself. He was left and then tried real life work and then hated that, so he came back to jujutsu sorcery. But the reason why he left is because he wanted to just leave everything to Gojo. But you can't do that. And then he doesn't want that as well. He's powerful, but he doesn't want to be the only person to do everything. Because he can't do everything.
Okay,
You see what I mean?
fine.
It's
Fair enough.
layers, bro.
Okay, look, that look, I can understand that, but I didn't understand